So I'm going over lesson 4, part 2. We've completed mod clock, and we're going to move on and do shear and then reflect. And we're still on number 1 of completing assignments on page 4.2 to 4.13. And I'm technically right now on page 4.12 of your book. And step 1 says open Illustrator 4.2 and then save it as shear. So I'm going to open this up and click on here. I'm in Illustrator. The next thing you need to do is you need to go to File, Save As. Make sure that you are not in your downloads. You need to go to your H drive or your Google Drive, wherever it is that you're saving your work. So you can see I've saved my work. I'm saving my work as shear in my Lessons 4 folder on my drive, and the mod clock is already completed. So here's my new work, shear. And hit OK. So select all. Your book is not telling you how to do this because it's assuming you already know how to do this. So we're going to go to select all and then copy your work. Paste in front. Paste in front. Then fill the copy with the swatch named graphite. So you need to open up your swatches panel. And if you hover over the different colors, you can find graphite. That needs to be your fill, so we're going to click on the fill and make that come forward and click on graphite. Click the shear tool. It should be underneath your scale tool. Press and hold Alt and then click the bottom right anchor point of the letter R to set the origin point of the shear. Bottom right corner of R. And open the shear dialog box. So I double clicked on the shear tool. Enter 45 in the shear angled text box. Verify that the horizontal option button is checked. And then hit OK. Your screen should resemble figure 10 of your book, which it does. So now we're going to click the scale tool. So you need to have that come forward and click that scale tool. Press Alt and then click any bottom anchor point or segment on the shear objects to set the point of origin for the scale. And then double click your scale tool. Click the non-uniform option button. Enter 100 in the horizontal text box. Non-uniform, horizontal should be 100. Enter 50 in the vertical text. And then hit OK. Send the shear object to the back. Apply a 1-point black stroke to the orange letters. So I need to select the orange letters first and then click on the stroke, make it black. And then if you're not sure how big this is, then you can open up your stroke panel. And I know mine's right here. I can click on that and open it. If you can't find it, go to Window and then Stroke to open it. And so it looks like it is at 1 point. So the last thing I need to do is change. I'm going to click on my selection tool and then click the shadow, and I need to change it to make it look like it's behind the letters. Just move it over a little bit. Looks like I accidentally made 2 copies. And so there it is. Save your work. And then you can close your document. So moving on, I'm on page 413 of your book. And let's go back over to Canvas. Step 1 says open up 4.3 and save it as Reflect. File, Save As. and then make sure you're no longer in your downloads. I save mine on my Google Drive. So you can see that I'm saving this as Reflect in my Lessons 4 folder under my Illustrator book lessons, and then hit Save. Alright, so first step is select all. Then zoom on to the top anchor point, which would be right here. So click that zoom tool and zoom into that top anchor point. Click your reflection tool, and your reflection tool is underneath your rotation tool. So I'm just going to click it. Press and hold Alt, and then click the top anchor point to set the point of origin for reflection. So press and hold Alt. Remember, in Illustrator, Alt is your friend. I'm holding Alt, and then I'm going to click with my mouse button. Click the vertical option button, and then click Copy. Deselect all, which you can do that by clicking on your selection tool and then clicking in the gray area or the white area. Get your direct selection tool. Using figure 13 as a guide, drag a selection box around the top two anchor points to select them. So I'm going to click here and drag. I'm holding my mouse button and dragging, and now there's actually two anchor points right here selected, and I have them both selected because I clicked and dragged my mouse. Click Object on the menu bar, point to Path, click Average, click the Both option button, and then hit OK. Click Object on the menu bar, point to Path, and then Join. Select the bottom two anchor points, so I'm going to press and hold my space bar so I can use my hand tool, and we're going to select both these two bottom anchor points. So I'm going to click and drag so I can select both of them. So notice, these two anchor points are now the only two anchor points that are filled in. That means they're selected. Average them on both axes, so we go back to Object, point to Path, and then back to Average, and you're going to hit both again, and then hit OK, and then you go back to Object, and then Path, and Join. So those two anchor points have been joined into one. And that's it for your Reflect. We're going to deselect, and then you go to File and Save. And you're finished with that document. You can close it down. Okay, so we completed 4.2 to 4.13. And so now we're on step 2, which is to complete book pages 418. So we need to open up 4.5. And then save it as Squares. So you can see I have it saved as Squares in my book lessons folder. I'm going to hit Save, hit OK, select the square, click Object on the menu bar, point to Path, and then Offset Path, enter -0.125. So you need to make sure you hit that minus sign and then 0.125 and then hit OK. A negative value reduces the area of the closed path. A positive value increases the area. Apply the offset command with the same value 4 more times. So you can always go to Object, Transform, Transform again. Whoop, that didn't work right. So we're going to do what the book tells us to, which is to go back to Object, and then Path, and then we have to have it selected. Object, and then Path, and then Offset Path, and then hit OK. Do it again. Object, Path, Offset Path. That's 3. One more time. All right, let's count and make sure we have the right amount. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And your book has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one more. So we need to do one more, which means I need to go back and select the center box and then go to Object, Path, and then Offset Path, and hit OK. That's the last one. Deselect all of them, and then save your work. And you can close your document. So we're now on step 3, which is to complete book page 422 through 441. And I think we're going to do page 422 and then stop this video, and I'll restart and create a new video for the next lessons. On page 422, it says open /7. And then save it as simple compound. So you can see that I have it saved as simple compound in my lessons folder of my book lessons, and hit save. Hit OK. Then cut the red circle in the middle of the illustration. So we need to select it. We're going to go to Edit, Cut, and then undo the cut. The red circle creates the illusion that there's a hole in the life preserver ring. So your book just kind of wanted to show you that it's creating that illusion. That's what that circle is all about. Select the red background object. Then change the fill to the ocean blue gradient on the swatches panel, which is right here. We need to have that as the fill. So I'm going to undo the stroke, click on the fill, and now we're going to click on it. The illusion is lost. The red circle no longer seems to be a hole in the life preserver. Select both the white life preserver circle and the red circle in the center. So I'm going to click on here, and then I'm going to press and hold Shift, and now select this circle in the middle. Click Object on the menu bar, point to Compound Path, and make. Move the background object left and right, up and down behind the circle. So your book wants to show you that you can move it all around. See how the gradient changes in the circle when you do that? Deselect your work and save it. Then close the simple compound document. And we're finished with this section. I'll start the video. I'll do the next project on a new video.